Homer, ancient Greek poet. In the dim mists of ancient Greece, amid the shifting landscapes of myth and memory, the figure of Homer stands as a towering enigma. Renowned as the author of the Iliad and the Odyssey, two of the most enduring works of Western literature, Homer has remained, through the centuries, more legend than man. Tradition holds that Homer lived during the 8th or 7th century BC, yet much of what is known about him lies within the realm of speculation, colored by myth and the whispers of competing city-states eager to claim his genius as their own. According to various ancient sources, Homer's life began in one of the ancient Greek city-states. Chios and Smyrna, now Izmir, Turkey, both claim to be his birthplace, with other cities like Athens and Ithaca vying for that honor as well. This widespread claim to Homer hints at his profound cultural impact, as each region yearned to tie its identity to the epic tales that defined Greek heroism, morality, and the intricate relationships between gods and men. Yet, what remains constant is the belief that Homer was a wandering poet, a rhapsode, who traveled from town to town, reciting tales of ancient heroes and legendary battles. One popular tale surrounding Homer is his supposed blindness. Early Greek authors, from the historian Herodotus to later classical commentators, described him as a sightless bard, guided only by his attendants. The image of a blind poet became a central feature in Homer's myth, suggesting a poet whose inner vision was unclouded by sight, and whose insight into human nature was sharp, nuanced, and timeless. This idea of blindness connected Homer with the tradition of oral poets, who would recite long epics from memory, preserving stories for a largely non-literate society that relied on song and verse to transmit its cultural heritage. Homer's education, if he indeed existed as a single individual, likely drew from these oral traditions that had preserved Greek culture for generations before him. The epics attributed to Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey, are vast in scope yet vivid in detail. They convey the intimate humanity of their characters, the valor of Achilles, the wanderings of Odysseus, the mourning of Hecuba, and the ever-tense, often cruel relationships between mortals and gods. Through his tales, Homer painted a picture of a world where fate and personal honor intersected in tales of heroism and tragedy, each story a meditation on the transitory nature of life and glory. Whether Homer was indeed the sole author of these works, or whether they were composed by multiple poets over time remains a point of debate. Scholars speculate that the Iliad and the Odyssey were likely shaped by centuries of oral tradition before reaching the form in which they were written down. This Homeric question, whether Homer was one man, many, or a symbolic figure, is as unsolvable as it is tantalizing. It speaks to the nature of oral cultures, where stories evolve with each telling, until they become legends too vast to trace back to any one person. In the centuries that followed his death, Homer became a figure of deep reverence in ancient Greece. His works were recited, studied, and analyzed in the first academies, becoming foundational texts for Greek education and philosophical thought. The great philosopher Plato referred to Homer as the first teacher of Greece, and his works inspired later writers, philosophers, and artists who saw in his epics a blueprint for exploring human nature and the ethical dilemmas of life. Homer's legacy outlived the collapse of Greek civilization, surviving the rise and fall of empires and the shift from oral to written culture. Today, the Iliad and the Odyssey continue to be read, translated, and adapted, keeping alive the stories that have been recited for nearly 3 millennia. Whether Homer was a single man or a collection of voices, his epics still echo, reminding us of the shared stories that unite humanity across generations and geographies. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more people profiles.